Good afternoon. It's mid to late January, fairly hot afternoon. I'm up near Mount Evelyn, going to do one of a walk I've done before around the Mount Evelyn. It's in Chapman's, some of Chapman's books. I think it's in Mr. Tempest's book, and probably some of Tyrone's old books too. So yeah, it's going to be more dry, this forest, not your typical Dandenong Ranges kind of fare. There will be wet patches. I can see one in front of me, or damper areas. All right, I'll swing the camera around and get on with it. It's about 12 k's, I guess, this walk in theory, and with a bit of climbing. So mid-30s temperatures, it'll test me out, I reckon. All right, take it easy. So the walk starts off at a little loop from the overflow car park at Sylvan Dam. Well, that's where I'm starting it from. There's a few other points you could start it. So I'm dropping down through this Fernia forest, and then I'll cross the creek, which may or may not be. I don't know the name of it. I'll get the name of it for you now. And then I'll climb up onto some management tracks on the other side of the creek and follow them for quite a few k's. That's the rough plan. We'll see how it all goes. So I had a look at the map. This is a Linda Creek walking track apparently, and I'm dropping down to cross a Linda Creek. So this is what I mean about more dry open forest. There's some wet stuff down in that gully, but yeah, this will be more typical, more open forest will be more typical of this walk. So this initial section down to the creek and then up to the management track is a little bit overgrown and vague in spots. There's a lot of tracks running through here. It doesn't look like they've been cleared since the big storms from a few years ago. There's been a few trees down, the signpost missing. So yeah, and with a few different tracks heading off at random tangents into the bush. Just keep an eye on the map if you come through here, just to make sure you kind of stay heading in the right general direction. All right, so this is a Linda Creek. So I'm on track, more or less. I'll climb up the other side here and meet the four-wheel drive track. Okay, I've met this track. This is I'm gathering this is something to do with Sylvan Reservoir. There's a pipeline that's buried underneath, and this track kind of must be the service track for it. So I'm going to follow this now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 k's. So the next bit's fairly easy. Okay, time to leave my kind of management track, pipeline track. I think it was Road 10 it may have been called, and start heading up here. So I'm climbing towards Mount Evelyn now. I think it's Walls track I go up, but there'll be a few different tracks. All right, this is going to be tough. It's still really warm, but I'm going okay. So I'm still climbing what I think is possibly Walls track up towards Mount Evelyn. To be honest, I've walked up here a fair bit, and there's a lot of guidebook authors, you know, everyone from Tyrone Thomas to Chapman's to Tempest have written written up walks here, but I don't think I've ever done a walk up here and stayed on the exact described route. There's so many tracks, both signed, unsigned, formal, informal. I tend not to bother because I spend my whole time with my nose in the guidebook or on a map. So I tend to go a little bit fast and loose. So there's a track now about 50 metres down in the trees to my left. I'm a little bit higher up the ridge, but I'm basically paralleling it. But it doesn't really matter. I figure this one might get me a bit more breeze, being a bit higher up. We'll see how we go. But yeah, if you walk here, I wouldn't get too hung up with staying on the exact route of your map or your notes. As long as you keep a bit of an eye on things and know where you are, you'll always get back. So I'm up on the ridge still. I'm passing along the back fence line of some of the local houses on the outskirts of Mount Evelyn, I think. I'll leave the houses soon though, I think. The trees are nice for a bit of shade though. Okay, I've left the houses now. I'm dropping down a little bit. Pick up another fire road down here. Alright, I'm in some wetter forest, crossing a gully. This is probably what most people think when they think Dandenong Ranges, I reckon. So I'm on Wallaby track now. Back in the fairly dry forest again. Okay, so I'm just leaving Wallaby track, I think I possibly may be on track 13. As you can see, there's a few tracks around. Anyway, one way or another, I'm starting to drop down into the valley now. Got some tape across the track up here, so we'll see what that means, eh? Alright, all good. Let's get down to Olinda Creek again, eh? Okay, I'm swinging down track 24 now, and this will drop me down to near Olinda Creek, I think. Some of this fencing's left over from the storms. I've worked out some of the trees have been cut down. They've fenced them off. These are the storms from a couple of years ago. Alright. From memory, this is a fairly loose descent, so I'll put the camera away and use the trekking poles, I think. So that body of water through the trees is Sylvan Reservoir. Okay, I've just come down there. That was loose. I'm turning on the track 11 here. The creek, Olinda Creek's down there. I'm going to follow this track around for probably half a k up the creek. before I'll swing back across the creek on that Alinda Creek track that I started on, but I'll do the loop part of it. A few rosellas around here. So I think that's a treatment plant for Sylvan Reservoir. The wall of the reservoir is just through the trees over there. It could be a feral fact, but that's what it looks like. Okay, back at Alinda Creek on the Alinda Creek track. I'm just going to cross the creek and then I'll climb up and I'll swing around the kind of rest of the circuit, the Alinda Creek circuit. I think it is anti-clockwise. Creek's still got a bit of water coming down this time of year. So that's Alinda Creek track there where I came down, I think. I'm heading up here. This is pipeline track. You can see the signpost there, it's gone. So yeah, I think this loop that I've done from where I parked the car, I think one side of it, the side that I walked down was Alinda Creek track, and I think this part of it is pipeline track. But depending on which map you look at here, I think it's going to have different names. Anyway, I'm heading in the right direction, so that's all good. Okay, so the walk's coming to an end pretty quickly. I'm just climbing pipeline track. I'm pretty confident now looking at the pipeline fittings. I've got about 5 minutes climb up to the car, and then be time to head home for a cold shower. Temperature's dropped a bit since I've been walking, but I still think it'll be pushing 30. At least it's dry. If you do this walk in winter, it can be a bit muddy, and this red clay can be a bit slippery. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, whatever you want to do. All right, I'll spin the camera around in a couple of minutes and sign off, I think. Okay, Goin Ultras come out about 10.3-ish Ks and 460 metres. This track, this route, it's a series of tracks. Look, if you come here, you need some kind of a map. And even if you have a map, don't expect to stay exactly on the trail you think you're on the whole time. But if you don't have a map, it would be a little bit of a labyrinth. You'd want to have a compass to point you in the right direction, I reckon. But you're never going to get totally lost. There's always, 3 or 4 options for going in the direction you need to go. So, don't get too hung up on following exact notes in this part of the Dandenong Ranges. This is a nice one if the kind of western slopes and up around Sherbrooke is too wet. This is a little bit drier over here, so yeah, not a bad option. And the Sylvan Dam has a picnic ground, which is about probably 150 metres from where I am here. So, all right, I'm gonna turn off the GPS or turn off the phone and head home for a cold shower and a cold drink. I'll catch you on the next one.